Hey guys, James Mason here. Welcome back to the Small Space Big Build project. Today I'm going to be cleaning this face brickwork. What we're going to do is put a high pressure hose onto this just to remove any mortar smears that we might have. You can see down in some of these areas that aren't wet, you've got the cement smear over the brickwork. This you can't see it as much because it is actually raining at the moment and this is quite damp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of acid into the water. Just a small amount. I don't want to use too much acid, because I'll get into it now and I'll show you how we go about cleaning this. What we really need is a stiff brush, maybe a little paint scraper to knock off any other little bits of mortar that might be floating around, and a high pressure gurney. I've got a machine that'll do about 2000 psi, but let's give it a go and see how it works. As you can see, it's raining pretty heavy out here now. So I've been rained off other projects that I've been doing, like the cladding. So like I said, it's a perfect opportunity for me to get that gurney now and acid clean these bricks while it's wet anyway. So I'll put my raincoat on, put my gumboots on, get all suited up, and we'll give it a go. Okay, let's look at some of the gear we got. Broom, stiff haired brush, safety goggles in case we get into the acid, wet weather pants, wet weather gear, gumboots, bit of hydrochloric acid. Again, depending on how much the bricks need to be cleaned, we probably won't need a lot of this. Because we're going to be using that, we've got some dust masks as well too, just because of the fumes that the acid may put off. A little paint scraper comes in handy. You can have that in your back pocket just to knock off any little dags of brickwork that may be in the way. And that's about it. I'll use this bucket to put the mix in, dip the brush in, give the walls a bit of a scrub, and then I'll high pressure clean it off. Sorry, the one other thing I forgot was rubber gloves, a big must. You've got to have these when you're working with acid so you don't get anything on your skin. Okay, so we're going to chuck this hydrochloric acid in the water. Like I mentioned before, it's pretty powerful stuff. There's going to be a lot of fumes that come off when you first put it into the water. Once it goes in as diluted, it's not as bad, so you probably won't need the dust mask after that. Put it on first. Put your gloves on and a set of goggles just to be safe, because it's pretty nasty stuff if you get it on your skin or in your eyes. Now it's a pretty weak mix. We're not going to use too much. Like I said before, we don't want to suck the colour, the oxide out of the mortar, so we're just going to leave it as a pretty weak mix. And plus I've got a pretty big drum of water, so that's going to be fairly well diluted. We're going to start off with the soft haired broom, just to sort of rub it all over the bricks, just to get it in, let the acid sit in the bricks and a little bit of water. Then I'll start up the high pressure hose, I'll get a big stiff haired broom, and then I'll give it a blast and I'll come back over and give it a bit of a scrub, just trying to remove some of that cement film that's over the top of it. It's not quite taking the smear off, so I'll give it a bit more of a top up. So after you've done a bit, stop and check, stand back and have a bit of a look and see how it's coming up. That'll let you know whether you need to apply a little bit more acid, apply a bit more pressure with the actual gurney itself. But like I said, you don't want to apply too much pressure near the actual joints, because you can actually damage the brick joint themselves. So mine's coming out pretty good. I might just give it a little bit more of a scrub around the joints with some light acid, and then I'll continue on with the high pressure hose and just work my way down this 2-story facade. Hopefully by the end of the day we're all done and it's nice and clean.